theatre gets a free pass.
I'm talking about film as well.
Literature gets a free pass. Big Hollywood movies, they're the ones that I have a big issue with at the moment. Indie films don't have enough money being put into them. I'm a big fan of David Lynch. I love a lot of great films that, to an extent, have changed popular culture in a very subversive way. And even though he's not the independent filmmaker that we like to think of him as now, simply because he's made a certain stake in my heart and other hearts, I feel there's other Lynches out there that should be given that kind of money so they can show us their interesting and maybe skewed perspective on life. They should be given some money. And I find that they will probably be passed over because they've got very niche stories to tell. And that's a shame, because those niche stories need to be given a greater audience, because then it will give us a little bit more than the solitary action hero going through a set of corridors to find the bad guy and rescue a woman. So
valid point. But I mean, I think all the people that are working on those productions in Hollywood have had their fair share of indie films that they needed to make to get out there. And so the thing is that they're finally earning the cream that they've worked for. I mean, mostly I'm thinking about all the behind the scenes people. There are hundreds of people involved in the making of a movie, and everybody gets to learn and develop and to be able to expand their skills from that. And I think that they should have the financial freedom to be able to do that, to be able to make better films, to be able to make better work so they can inspire more people and speak to them in their own homes. I liked that.
Are we still rolling?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I feel that trusting the people that make these decisions to fund them implicitly, just because of the amount of garbage we get, doesn't that irk you?
Well, you see, but also the role of a producer is incredibly important, because I mean, if a director had all the money, then they're not there for that purpose. They have their own purpose.
Sure.
A producer decides where all the money goes and how much goes in, and the thing is, I think it's very important to have that. They have their opinion, they have their stake, and yes, you can criticize that there's very few producers with that much money to be able to designate, and they might be biased in their own ways, but it is very important that those people have their input and have their say.
It's only very recently that I think Hollywood has become a bit more self-aware that we are tired of certain tropes and conventions, right? So you can see that. I mean, it wasn't a great film, but Lucy, starring Scarlett Johansson, was a superhero movie but had a female protagonist. It didn't make that much money, and Scarlett Johansson's career won't be damaged at all by it because she's obviously in the Avengers and whatnot. But if I feel that we're being hoodwinked into believing that these producers are trying to find really interesting things for us to watch, yet they're still regurgitating the same stuff. Should they be given that amount of money? I don't think so. I think there should be there is no governing body that stops them from spending from A to B what they're going to make.
But then again, then you have an issue with the audience, because they're only going to create something that is going to sell. Therefore, obviously, these big movies and these things, which I don't personally like, do make money, and so therefore the thing is that they're not there. Their job is not, the artistic integrity
their job
of
is to
the
make
world.
money.
Exactly. So then it turns around to the fact that, well, obviously that's what we want, in a nice generalized fashion.
It should be what we need rather than what we want.
Yeah, but who can dictate that?
The
other than
directors,
ourselves?
the script writers, and if they at some point coalesce with the producers on a certain monetary level, if their commerce value system starts to overtake the artistic one, then that in itself is something obviously we can't check, but we can see the results of it, i.e. the films that get greenlighted. There are enough people out there who are interested in very heartwarming, strange, out there narratives, and I feel that even though there's quite a lot of choice if you search, there's not enough choice if you are if you're waiting for it to be presented to you, and that's quite sad,
But the thing is that entertainment in general is a luxury. It's something that is on top of our daily needs, And so when it boils down to it, luxuries are what we want and not necessarily what we need. And according to these people who make these films and the sort of standard cliche of it all, what we want is explosions and half-naked ladies and superheroes and all that kind of jazz. But I think with the fact that entertainment is a luxury, it's not a necessity, means that it's for the extravagant and the silly and all the over-the-topness, as opposed to watching something that's actually mentally nourishing. That's why I watch documentaries. My hate.
The world is going through a lot of shit, and obviously we want to be distracted by it. So ultimately, yes, entertainment will be something that people will continually look to be distracted. And maybe my issue really is truly with like the big Hollywood blockbusters, because essentially they don't really speak to me. I didn't see Jurassic World. Everyone was saying it's pretty damn good. Maybe I should check it out, but I'm not really motivated to do so, because again, I feel that I've had enough of explosions. Just don't keep blowing stuff up Hollywood for
Fair
X
enough.
amount of money. We've seen it. Give us an explosion. We had lots of explosions in Inception, but that was quite a thoughtful film.
Fair enough.
You know, we can combine both, you know, and I don't mind, again, someone like, say, Christopher Nolan spending that amount of money, because he's proven himself. He started off doing independent films, then moved on to strange stuff like Memento, which is a beautiful thing. That's my phone going off.
Yep, just after my phone went off.
Which is fine. I think I should pick up my phone. We'll do a part 2 of this when we have like some kind of movement on the whole subject.
Excellent.
To
All
be
right.
continued.
Adios.